Hello, I'm Kyle Johnson from MustangsTV.com, here today with Loretta High School head football coach Lee Boyd here on the Lee Boyd Show. We are coming to you from the Palace in Loretto, Tennessee. I want to make sure you stop by and grab some delicious food from the Palace for your next lunch or supper. Coach, going to Friday night, played Cornersville. Can you talk about that game a little bit?
Sure.
No, we scored, how many points did we score?
49 points.
49 points.
We, coming in, we were down 3 players. And I talked about that a little bit. There were some doubts there. We had some kids that were going to have to step up, and they did. Luke Fleming and Dalton Neese, Jesse Esses, they played wonderful. Dalton, in fact, I think he rushed for 70 or 80 yards, broke one ticket to the house there in the second half. Luke Fleming played unbelievable defense. And Jesse Esses had 7 or 8 tackles and pretty much took down the game. So they did exactly what we asked them to do. Jesse, he's been out there, Dalton has too. That's the first time Luke's really got that full-blown start experience, and he handled it great. We come in, and it's Cornersville is just a really, really neat ball game for us. Other than them being in Alabama dreads, it kind of looks like they're dressed like Alabama. I'm a Tennessee fan, but actually I root for both of them just as long as Alabama's not playing Tennessee. But Coach Putman's son's the offensive coordinator, and Coach Stockswell is a great guy. So we talked a lot for the ball game, and we had some time just to sit and talk about things, and just coaches talking. And we come out in the first half, and really off the bat, they won the toss, and we stopped them. Got to punt. Of course, they do a great job at that. They do what's called a pooch punt. They'll drop back quick, snap it, and kick it.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, it doesn't give anybody opportunity to return it. They knew if we got it, if we got a chance to return it, we might do some good things. So they pinned us on the 4-yard line, and so we're thinking we got 96 yards, and so we come out. And we think, we always try to mash them in the mouth first. That's just what we do. And just to get a feel for what we're going to be able to do. And the first play, I think we got 12 yards, 9 yards, I don't know. Second play, same thing. Third play, same thing. Then we did something a little different. We went left. Run the same play left. Give it to Corey one time. Back to Zach. Just kind of marched it down the field how we wanted to. 5-minute drive, 7 points, Corey. Offensive line's just blowing them off the football, And come back, kick it to them, and the first play they run's a jailbreak, and they just catch us. They caught us in a stun. We knew if we brought pressure from time to time, if we didn't get to him, that they have the capability of catching us with that little inside stunt from the receiver.
Right.
And they did that. You can watch, if you watch the film, or if you were watching Friday night, we do a pursuit drill all summer long. The kids don't really like it because it's conditioning too. But those guys turned and headed down the field. And after they headed down the field, they actually headed him off and got him on about I guess it was the 12-yard line. Which doesn't seem like a lot. You think, well, they're already down inside, they're fixing to score.
Right.
And but they didn't. And people understand when you don't give up and you take that angle, you young guys that are out there, you never give up on a play. You never give up on a play. If you chase him down on the 1, you're giving yourself 4 more chances. 4 more chances. Of course we stopped them. They tried another draw, we stopped them. Third down, another draw, we stopped them. First play was a little stretch play, and they got to about the 5-yard line. Then Spencer come through, and he had tackled for a loss, and then they tried to run a draw, and we stopped that one 4th down. Kid fakes the draw and throws it. Well, they catch it in the end zone. We wasn't sure if he caught it, and you still can't tell on the film. But they had a legal motion, legal procedure, and they had to play the down again. And they did a double move in the end zone, and if you hear Matt Rawson talk about it, he'll tell you, I just got beat, and the kid just drops it. And so we get it on the 9, on the I guess it's the 11-yard line. And first play, I think we give it for, I don't know, 7 or 8, 9 yards. Second play, again, then Zach, 84 yards. You know, he didn't get touched. Nobody even put a hand on him.
No.
And he just, of course, if you get in foot race with Zach, he's probably going to beat you most of the time. I mean, he's okay at that. I still tell him he's not fast enough, but in all truth, when he runs hard, he can stretch it out there. Nick Green knocks it through. We're up 14-0, and we kick it deep, and we don't care to kick it deep on people. And the kid just did a good job. He broke one tackle, slid off another one, and he caught our safety guy up inside. Leo was a little far inside. He's piece of the end zone. You know, they kicked the extra points, 14-7, and so we come out, drive it back down to midfield, get 2 holding penalties in a row. We've got, I don't know, 2nd and 14, and we just stood up for Devin out there. We've been watching their corner. He was looking inside. We brought it every time. He kind of went to sleep on us, turned his back, and Devin caught a, I think it was 43-yard pass. And then we give it to Zach 2 more times, and then boom, you know, he takes it in. After that, defensively, they just didn't do a whole lot.
Right. We
pretty much shut them down. They never. They only got on the other side of the field just a couple of times, and it wasn't far on it. But we got the ball back, made them punt. We give a couple dives of sweep play. They pinned us deep several times, and we give it to Zach around the edge, and Dalton a couple times, and Corey, and then we're on a little like play, and Matt, 70 yards, 65. I don't know how far it was, but you know, he didn't get touched. He just took it right up the middle and turned the jets on. Matt's a lot faster than what people realize. He just had to get a little confidence under his belt, and he's finally getting to that right now. But
right.
So we're up there. You know, I don't know. I think it's 28-7, or maybe even 35-7 at that point. And the half's dwindling down. No, I take that back. We were up 28-7, and then we get the ball back, drive it down to about the 7-yard line. They do a good job of blowing their neck up. They didn't want to let us in. Brought our big boy set in, and they caught us from the backside one time, which we've had that happen a couple times. And so you know, they weren't covering our right guard, so I just told Matt, I said, just follow the big right guard into the end zone. He didn't get touched. And so you know, he went in, and then missed the extra point. So it's, you know, 35. I think it's 35 right now to 7. And there's not much time left on the clock. You know, maybe 41 seconds, something like that.
Right.
And we really thought they might take an ear and just try a couple runs to see if they can break one. You know, they completed a pass, got it up around the 40, completed another pass, got out of bounds. There's about 16 seconds left. And I really thought, you know, he caught it in bounds. He was just going to let the clock run out. And he snaps it and drops back. And, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking, you know what would be awesome right now is if they throw a pick and we take it back to the house. And Spencer just picks it out of the air. I mean, jumps up real high. But what he did after that was what was special. He ran through 6 tackles. You know, even my boys today, when we were watching film, were counting them. They said, Coach, he run through 6 tackles. He's just playing really good right now. He really is. I'm just really proud of him. You know, he picked that ball out, took it down. Of course, we went for 2, and a lot of people think, well, why'd you go to 2? Well, actually, if you get up 35 points, the clock doesn't run. It's what's called the mercy rule in Cheeto display. It's not designed to demoralize anybody. That's the last message that I would ever want to send. It's done so the game flows smoother when you get a very lopsided contest.
Right.
And you know, it didn't mean we were just that much better than them. It just means we had everything going our way at that time. And so we went for 2, 42-7. You know, we're up 35 points. The clock runs constantly. We come out. So we had planned to come out with our second backs to start the second half in our first line. We were just going to run one series, and you know, if you score, good. If we don't, then we were going to kind of go from there because the clock was running. We thought we might even be able to bleed a whole quarter off if we just took our time. So we got the ball on about the 40, and had little Dalton back here. He was pretty quick in his own right. If you ain't seen him in real speed, he's just about as fast as Zach, I would have to say. And just get a little dive play. He took it to the house. You know, I don't know, 60 yards, didn't get touched. 65 yards, didn't get touched. You know, he turned the jets on and outrun them. And then we brought Sam Bottoms in. Sam, you know, made the kick, and we're up, you know, 49-7. And from that point, with that mercy rule, they would have had to score twice, and they never scored again. In fact, they didn't score on the defense. You know, we actually pitched a shutout. But the second half was pretty, we weren't trying to do anything extravagant. We were running dives and some of our fullback stuff. That's just a good thing that I was taught growing up, was once you get the game in hand and it gets to that point, there's no sense in going any further.
Right.
And, we had our second backs in, our second line in, and we were just trying to run stuff. Now, if we break one inside, it happens. But we're not going to try to get on the edge. We're not going to throw it. I think I threw it one time just to try to get a first down to extend the drive. But it was a little hot pass or something. And, that's just kind of what we were doing. Coach Stock over there at Cornerville, he's been coaching a long time. He's very, very classy. And he expected me to be the same way, and I was. And, everything worked out good. We actually had something at the end of the game where, and I can explain that to you, when we punted it, they muffed it, and Luke Fleming picked it up and took it in the end zone. Well, you can't advance a muff punt. He has to possess it. And if he possesses it, and then he fumbles it, you can pick it up and take it back. He never possessed the punt, so we got it on the, I think, 20-yard line, 25-yard line. Of course, there was still 8 minutes left in the ball game right there. I could have, we could have done some things, I think, to probably get in the end zone, but there was no sense in it. We just run some stuff inside. We slowed down. You'll notice it took a long, long time for us to call the plays. In fact, I think we actually bled it all the way down to 1 minute and 3 seconds or something. So we used up about 7 minutes of the clock, from the 25 to the 10.
Right.
But that was kind of one of those things. That's just clock management. That's all it is. And of course, come out with a W. And can be proud of the boys because we were kind of stacked behind. Everybody was thinking, well, they're down 3 players, but it really shows how hard they've all worked,
right,
and how deep they really are. This team, we do have a little depth in some places. And just because they ain't playing on Friday night all the time don't mean they're not starters or not. That don't mean they're not great players. It just means they're not, they're better than the one in front of them. And that goes all the way down to the junior high level. And it was hard for me to understand this when I was a player, but if there's somebody in front of me that's better than me, I can either accept that or I can work harder and get better. It's nobody's fault but my own.
Right.
And, it's not that I don't want to play everybody. It's not that, I'd love to put 40 out there at one time. I love them all. But you can't do that. You got to put your best 11 out there at any time. Because, it's a team. It's not about I. It's not about just, well, he needs to play well. We don't do that.
Right.
And so those guys that come in and contribute, they're pretty close to being starters right now. They're working hard to do that. So that's pretty special in its own right. But I was proud of every one of my coaches. And, we didn't have that many penalties. I think we had 3 penalties in the ball game, 4 at the most. Maybe it was 4. Not bad. We played 4 quarters of football. We really, truthfully, we played 2, and then we maintained the other 2. But I was really proud of the whole thing.
Absolutely. One new feature we have here on the Lee Boyd Show is submit your questions to Coach Boyd, and basically we pick 1 or 2 per show to ask Coach Boyd if we have any submissions, and we have one this week from Ronnie LePage, and Ronnie writes, "How is your new quarterback working out? I've watched him on the highlight film and have got to come to 3 games. Matt Rawson seems to be coming into his own. He seems to be more confident with each game. I missed the Richland game, but was glad to see the passing game working. There seems to be lots of improvement. Just wanted to know your thoughts. Thanks, Ronnie."
Matt, and I've said this from the very first ball game, Matt he's a great kid, first of all, off the field. He's a Christian kid. He's very open about that. He works really hard in the weight room. He's not about himself. He's very unselfish, and he was willing to learn. He's very coachable. He was like a sponge. We talk about kids, when you coach them, if they're a sponge, you can do it. They're like clay. You can mold them. Right. And he's just really took to what we're doing. Coming in, we had a quarterback situation. We had 2 of them, same age, and Matt just kind of seemed to be progressing. The other one's pretty good too, but Matt seemed to be progressing, at a greater level at the time. And he's finally getting to the point. I ain't there yet, but he's finally getting to the point where he's making his reads. He's not making dumb decisions, by throwing the ball up. He'll tuck it and run. You've seen that a lot. Right. When we run the option or the read plays, he does a good job of keeping it or giving it. And big thing he does is he leads by example. he has come into his own. He leads by example. He works hard. He runs hard, and he doesn't demand respect. It's just given to him because he just like a bunch of the other ones that are out there. Spencer and Zach and all them. They don't. Devin Harris is probably the quietest kid you've ever seen, but they respect him because they see how hard he works. And if I could give anybody advice, upcoming, whether they're underclassmen, freshman, junior high, or even little, would be this: lead by example, not by your mouth. Because a man of few words that works hard and does what he's supposed to is usually a pretty successful man. It means he's focused. And if you lead by example and only speak when you have to, and what I mean by that is speak sternly or have to do things that they're not enjoyable. Obviously with the leaders on the team, they have to be able to call down the younger players when they're doing something they're not supposed to. Right. Well, Devin's a perfect example of that. He don't yell and scream. He just goes and tells them, hey, that's not acceptable. Right. And it's just one of them things that's really tough. We got several like that. So. But Matt does a really good job with that. I couldn't be more pleased with him. He's thrown for 500 yards this year. He's got 50% pass. He's I think he's 25 for 50 or something of that nature this year. And of course, Coach Putman kind of fell back in his seat when I told him we threw it 50 times this year. But he said, "Well, you probably." We get in a certain set, and I actually call the play every one of the plays. If you ever watch, you'll see me running down the sideline with him. He said, "Well, you probably called 15 of them, didn't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I probably did." So, but he's doing really good. He's doing really good. So I'm proud of him.
Coach, looking forward to this week. We got Collinwood on the road. Have you got to watch some of the film?
Yeah, we watched film on them in Adamsville and Mount Pleasant, which they got beat in both those ball games. But Adamsville and Mount Pleasant are very, very good football teams. Right. It's kind of that situation where if you overlook them and say, "Oh, well, we're 5-2, they're 4-2, we're better." Well, you have to look at the level of competition. They've played two really, really good football teams in Adamsville and Mount Pleasant. And they're going to play one again Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
And they're big and physical, and we knew that. They got a really great athlete in Montgomery at quarterback. Briar Daniels, a great athlete, and Reagan. And some of them other ones over there. They just, Coach Tatum does a good job with them. Collinwood's kind of like us. They're just, small town, scrappy, but they love to play football. They love to be rough, and they don't want us to beat them. Right. Because if we beat them, and if we win the next two ball games, you got that Week 10 showdown we were talking about, which is, I can't ask for anything more than that. Oh, no. Number one against number one, and it'll just be, it's what you always want. But we control our destiny. We actually get two or three shots at winning the region here just by the way we play. I won't go into that, but we don't look down the road, playoffs. We don't look at all that. I mean, of course, I catch myself from time to time. Well, what if this happens? This, I actually address it with my kids and apologize to them. I said, I'm doing that in my head, and I know you are. Right. I said we need to take this one game at a time, and each game is its own separate entity. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I don't mean Friday night. I mean the beginning started Saturday for me and the coaches. We conditioned today and went over some stuff and watched film. We'll work harder. We'll work harder. Thursday we'll back off it, and Friday we'll go over and do what we do. So we're really looking forward to the opportunity. We don't have a great record against Collinwood. Right. I think we beat them 2 times in 11 years. Last year being one of them. And we hope to make it 3 Friday night. We're in a good spot right now. We're 4-0 in the region, 5-2 overall. Got beat by some really good football teams that people are finding out. Lawrenceburg is really playing hard. They lost a heartbreaker last Friday night. Won a heartbreaker the week before, and East Hickman I think right now is 3-2, 3-3, something like that. So it's one of those things that we just got to keep on pulling ourselves close together, becoming a family, working hard, and fighting towards that goal. We want to be playing Thanksgiving or after. So absolutely. Well, Coach, we thank you for joining us here on the Lee Boyd Show today, and we want to thank you, the fans, for tuning in, and want to encourage everyone to come out to Collinwood Friday night and support the Mustangs. They need your support. For Kyle Johnson, this is head coach Lee Boyd. Thank you for watching.